Heavy spoilers for chapter 267 of My Hero Academia, you've been warned. What's good is boy reviews, and yeah, the recent chapters just dropped on viz.com and it's been pretty wild, my dudes and dudettes. A lot has happened in it. But before I get my predictions of what's going to happen in 268, let's give a brief review of it, and yes, spoilers coming your way, you've been warned. So the chapter basically starts off with Hawks talking to Tokoyami about his weakness and saying that it'd be fire, and then you have Tokoyami and some other guys like basically watching as Dabi has just gone ape shit, and it's just basically after he's killed twice, and then Hawks is just furious with Dabi, saying how could he do this, how dare he kill Dabi, and then he's like saying how that isn't the face of a man who's just watched his friend die. And then you've just got flipping Dabi just going kind of crazy as well, saying how he can't cry because his tear ducts got burnt, which goes into my little theories and like predictions. We'll talk about it later on. Then we basically go to him talking to Hawks about him looking into Shigaragi and Hawks' background, but how they were the only two people he didn't really get any information from. And then we basically cut to a flashback of Hawks when he went into the special program to become a special hero, and he's clutching an Endeavor toy. He's basically saying that he wants to be just like Endeavor, who beats up the bad guys, and he wants to be that light that shines for everyone. Then Hawks is angrily saying who Dabi is, and then you get kind of a weird spooky panel with like Dabi like kind of centered in the middle, and then you have a speech bubble of Dabi's saying his identity to Hawks, but it's all covered in black. And then Hawks is just horrified. He looks so terrified. And then Dabi's basically saying more than anyone, more than twice, he should have been keeping an eye on him, and how he never gave a crap about the League of Villains from the beginning, and his true goal was to make Stain's will a reality. And yeah, and that's when he just disappears. And yeah, a lot of theories with that little section. But then meanwhile, we basically have I forgot what this hero is called. I'm gonna call her the bunny girl, the bunny hero girl. She's basically zooming, then she confronts the doctor, smashes her way through, and then all of a sudden we get this weird kind of like panel shot. I think it's Endeavor comes in all of a sudden, and that's basically where it ends. It kind of ends with, it looks like Endeavor basically coming in to battle. I'm not too sure. All this section was a bit confusing, but I think it'll make more sense once the next chapter next week comes out. But yeah, that's basically when it kind of ended, you know. Yeah, overall this chapter was pretty nice. Again, I really love the drawing style of the author. He has a really great art style when it comes to action. Like, you can really feel like the motion in like these little panels. But yeah, let's get to my theories and predictions for the next chapter 268. So obviously this chapter was mainly all focused on Hawks and Dabi for me, you know. The chapter was obviously titled Flames, and it's all about flames, and it's Endeavor, Dabi and Hawks, and like all about fire and all that lot, how fire is like a weakness and all that lot, how Dabi is kind of like, his weakness is fire, and how the one thing that Dabi can't do is cry, and it's all because his tear ducts got burnt. And yeah, this is where we come to my predictions. So in my previous video, I basically said that Hawks and Dabi are probably brothers because yeah, I just assumed that they were brothers. But then I started listening to other reviewers, particularly for Neverworld, and him saying that he came up with the theory that Dabi is probably the lost son of Endeavor. Because if you remember, Endeavor in like one of the chapters is like at this kind of memorial of this little kid. The kid being Endeavor's lost son, Toya, who supposedly died, according to Shoto's brother. And this guy Dabi's main power is fire, obviously, and just I actually thought that maybe they were brothers, but then after hearing from Neverworld talk about how Dabi and Endeavor how Dabi could be Endeavor's lost son, it got me thinking, is it really? But then I kept reading and I was like, nah, I don't believe it. Then I read this chapter and now I feel like that theory might be true because the way the author's drawn a lot of these shots with Dabi, like how he's just consumed in all this fire, is very similar to the last shot with Endeavor basically being consumed in fire. And like Endeavor has a lot of those like moments where he's just roaring with fire, and he's very similar to him. He has that type of presence about him. And you have baby Hawks holding this little Endeavor toy, and it reminded me of a scene from the ending of My Hero Season 4 Ending 2, where you see these photographs of like people, like characters from the manga, and it cuts to like mainly shots of like Shoto's family, so the Todoroki family. You have like Endeavor, Shoto's mom, Shoto's brother and sister, and then you have Baby Hawks as a kid in that training program, and I think it's the same time when he's holding the Endeavor toy, and then you it pans down, and then you have another photo which is completely burned out, and it got me thinking, is that photo of Toya, aka Dabi? Because memories, people when they have memories, like it's emotional, and people, it's like it's nostalgic, like when people like to think of the past, it's happy and sad at the same time. And it got me thinking, because Dabi can't cry, maybe because his tear ducts got burnt, the photo being burnt, Dabi not being able to cry, it's really leading on to that little theory, to be honest with you. And just the way Dabi is saying to Hawks how he should have kept his eyes on him more than anyone, more than Shigaraki, more than Twice, more than anyone, and how he wants to make Stain's will a reality. He wants to become the next Stain, I'm guessing. So I'm guessing that's where it's going to head off into. And if Dabi really is Toya, and Hawks knows about this could have serious consequences for the hero society. Endeavor, like his son, being a major villain. Like, this guy has killed people and done terrible things. Like, how is that going to impact Endeavor and his status as a hero? How is all this going to fold up and all that lot? But I want to know is that if Dabi really is Toya, I want to know why he ended up being who he is. But then you got to think, dude, that how Endeavor was to the Todoroki family, how abusive he was, how much hell he put like Shoto through, how his mom had to burn Shoto's face, like how effed up that is. And Endeavor being the number one hero, like maybe Toya, aka Dabi, doesn't see Endeavor as a hero. Maybe he wants to do all this to show you that, even though Endeavor's his hero and all that, like he's a terrible guy, and I think he wants to bring the hero name down, and he doesn't feel that Endeavor is a decent hero and whatnot, and how even all heroes maybe have a little dark side to them in a way. Also, I feel like Hawks might have just been killed by Dabi, because when he says "see ya, Hawks," Hawks' face is kind of like disintegrating in a way, and then it kind of ends with Tokoyami screaming Hawks' name. But maybe Hawks is alive, because Hawks kind of turns around all of a sudden, and then you see Endeavor just come into battle in a way. So maybe he's going to be saved by him. You got Endeavor, Hawks, and now Dabi. I just want to know what the hell is going to happen next time. So tell me in the comments down below what you guys think. What's going to happen next week on Boku no Hero? Do you think Dabi really is Toya? Gotta check it out. But thanks for watching this review. Please like and share this video. Comment down below and tell me what's your favorite chapter so far. With that said, thank you for watching. As always, Board Review signing out.